Hi, this is Mr. Knowles, and this instructional video focuses on adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. That's where the bottoms of the fractions are the same. You'll probably want some colored pencils, a pencil, and some graph paper for this. And just follow along, and we'll get started. Number 1, solve the following problem using a labeled sketch to explain your thinking. 1/8 plus 1/4. One thing you have to realize with fractions is if you're going to compare, add, or subtract them, that to do so, you need the denominators or the bottom numbers to be equal to not equal to each other, but in the same number. Right now, they're not the same number. 8 is not the same as 4. So what we need to do is make some equivalent fractions before we can add these together. That's the first step. In class, we've been making, for visuals, for sketches, we've been making rectangles or using egg cartons to show the visual model. So let's take 1/8. I'm going to draw that in as a rectangle. So this will be 1/8. This rectangle's in 8 pieces. And I'm going to add, let's do a different color here, 1/4. And what's important is that 1/4 rectangle, you need to create it the same size and the same number of pieces as the 1/8. So this is going to be 1/4. The rectangle has to be the same size and have the same number of pieces, but how you cut it will be in fourths. And then shade in or put in little eggs or circles here, like that. Now we can add them because the rectangles are the same size with the same number of pieces. And what that means is that mathematically your denominator is the same, because the 1/8, or not 1/8, excuse me, the 1/4, what that's showing right here, that's the same as 2/8. You just made equivalent fractions visually in a sketch. Let's put them all together. Now it's just putting your circles in your answer. So, and what I mean is, get my highlighter, I have 1 here and I have 2 here. So I just gotta add those up and put them in my answer box. So I have 1/8 from the first one, and I have 2 circles or 2/8 from the second rectangle. So right there is my answer. So my answer is now 3/8. 3/8. Hope that made sense. Let's try another one. 3/8 plus half. All right. So 3/8. Let's build something in eighths. Cut it in 8 equal pieces. 3/8. So I got 3 boxes shaded in, or 3 circles, or 3 eggs, however you want to think about it. I'm going to add, yep, it's adding, because some of these will be subtracting, so make sure you double check. I'm going to add half. So I'm going to make the same size rectangle, same number of squares. I'm going to literally cut it in half, shade in circles or use eggs, half, and we're adding half. And what you basically did is you just made a new fraction that's really this is really 4/8. You just made an equivalent fraction so that you could add these together. Now we just gotta put everything in the same rectangle from both of them. That's what adding is. So I have 3 from the first one because I had 3/8. And I actually have 4/8 from that came from the half. So I need 4 green ones. And my answer is right there. Excuse me. I have 7/8. Problem 3. Solve the following problem using a labeled sketch to explain your thinking. 4/8 minus 1/4. This is a subtraction problem. Be aware of that. So I'm going to start making a rectangle that's made up of 8 equal pieces. 4/8. And I'm going to draw one next to it. It has to be the same size, remember, with the same number of squares. And this is going to represent 1/4. So now I'm going to cut it into 4 equal pieces and shade or use circles or eggs, whatever you want to call them, in one of those 4. Now this is a subtraction problem. So we're taking away eggs. So this is a little different. You could go about this a couple ways. But your answer box, your rectangle, is still the same size. And what I usually do is I count these here because I'm taking this away from the first one. And I just put X's there. I'm going to take away 2 circles from the first one on the left. So I'm going to take away, actually, 1/4 is the same as 2/8. I'm going to take away 2/8. And I simply just cross out 2 of them. And what's left over is your answer. These are left over. That's literally your answer. You have 2 left. So your answer is 2/8. Or, if you want to look at it in a different way, you could also say your answer is 1/4 because they represent the same thing. So I would be happy with either one. Just decide which one you want to use. Number 4, 7/8 minus 3/4. All right, so 7/8. I'm going to build 8s. 7/8. We're going to subtract 3/4. So make another rectangle that's the same size. This is going to be 3/4. So I'm going to break it up into 4 equal pieces. And I'm going to fill in 3 of those 4 equal pieces. Okay, and remember this is subtraction. So we're taking away. So I'm going to build my rectangle for my answer. And I'm going to take away 6 of these because 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. So I'm going to take that away from the first one on the left. So if I take away 6, get rid of them, cross them out, I'm left with 1/8. So my answer is 1/8. Let's try one more. Half minus 3/8. Okay. What you might start doing is drawing a rectangle with just two parts, because that's what half is, right? You have one of two. And then you would go and make 3/8. And maybe you're picking up on what's wrong with this approach. That's 3/8. And what's wrong with this approach is that the ultimate thing, anytime you're going to compare, add, or subtract fractions, is that the rectangles have to be the same size with the same number of pieces. You can't compare, add, or subtract fractions where the denominator or the bottom number is different. So you have to make them the same. First things first. That's a very important rule of fractions. They get really upset if they're not on the same page, they're not the same size. So we need to show half in a different way. We need to make it the same size, same number of pieces as the 3/8. And then I cut it in half. And then I can shade in half, which would actually be equivalent to, looks like 4/8. So that's the same as 4/8. And remember, this is a subtraction problem. So we're going to take away something. I'm going to build my answer rectangle. We're going to take away 3/8 from the very first rectangle. And we're left with just 1/8. So my answer is 1/8. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. And keep on working on this stuff. You'll get better with practice.